If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. My name is Geo, and every day I teach you guys why the market moves the way that it does. Shouts out to the Nexus. Let's get right into it. Okay, so the other day, I think it was 2 days ago, I made a video talking about how I didn't think that we were going to come and make a run for this liquidity right off the hop, okay? I said, I think it makes more sense for us to generate some liquidity and attack some of these lows, and that's exactly what happened. Now, if you remember in that video, I said that there are a few places that we could be bouncing from. One could be around here, one could be here, one could be here, etc. And there's no way for us to know as low as going to 57, 58, and SFPing that low. And I said there's no way of predicting it. Why should we predict it when we can react to it, okay? And I did let you guys know on Twitter that that's exactly what I was looking for a bounce off of here while it was getting closer to real time. So make sure that you follow my Twitter. And I even let you guys know on Twitter that I did go long at 65636. And here we are now at above 65636. So that's all that matters. This update, I'm hoping, is going to be a quick update if I don't ADHD, but I just want to talk about what I think might happen now. And I want to keep it very simple, just, I guess, piggybacking off of the last update. So just to give you some context, if you missed the last video, which you're going to need to know, but I'll catch you up here. We hit a very important resistance level, okay? And then we had a 4-hour structure flip, okay? Now, this 4-hour flip, if I were to draw it, you have up, down, up, down, up, down, and you have a bearish flip. And then now you are potentially just coming back to retest that bearish flip. The last video for me making this case that this liquidity wasn't going to get taken, my idea behind it was simply that too many people were over leveraged on longs and that I don't think that they would give you a free ride to this high at 71K or 70K, 70.1 rather. I didn't think that they were going to give it a free ride. Why? Because, I mean, it's been up only for however long it's been, a couple weeks with zero retracements. And in my opinion, I believed that we were going to get a shakeout of some longs, okay? Now, that obviously happened. However, the question right now is, did we go low enough? Okay, it was kind of a shallow retracement, fine. And I made a case for why I thought this low needed to go. Now, again, it doesn't matter what I think or what you think. It matters what is. And if I get the confirmations, I'm going to take the trade as I just showed you. However, now is decision time, okay? Remember this. I still think that we're coming to touch the big liquidity that's above here, 70.1, okay? Above this, not this high, sorry. This high over here. I still think that we are absolutely going to be touching this. The question is, what's the path to get there, okay? Now, we do have a little bit of a red flag, and that red flag, which is kind of the elephant in the room, is that 4-hour structure flipped bearish. However, there's a little bit of, how do I say this? There's a little bit of hope in the event that this were to play out, okay? And I'm going to show you that hope by just copy pasting the same structure. The exact same thing happened over here, guys, where you had a 4-hour flip. And then what happened after that? You basically faked out that 4-hour flip, but you didn't fake it out right away. You actually did make another low, and then you SFP'd that low on a higher term time frame, okay? So that's not a significant enough break. When you SFP a low, your target becomes the high. So because it happened here, we need to understand that it could very well happen here. I don't know why it got removed, but it could very well happen here as well, okay? Now, it could very well happen where you fake out this break and then you continue higher. So we're already keeping that in the back of our mind. We already need to be extra cautious because we know that, I believe that the end overall order flow objective is going to be the $70.1 thousand level, right? But we need to keep in mind what happened here. So if what happened back there here happens again now, and that just seems to be a trend, well, then what we can expect is a pullback like we've gotten now, and then a lower low, but it doesn't close the lower low. It SFPs the lower low, and then we come to the high. That is only if the trend is going to continue, okay? I'm not saying we're going down. I'm saying if this same pattern is going to play out here, then that's what we can expect. Why could we expect that move? Well, like I said in the last video, I think that this was a very significant point. Yes, this was a significant low. However, this low over here, number one, liquidity was already swept and they wanted to go lower. So my question to you now is, what did this really achieve? Did this really achieve that much? And if it did achieve that much, why wouldn't they just have done this? Why wouldn't they have swept that low and then gone higher at that point? Why did they come bring the boat even further back, but then not take any more liquidity, right? So that's where I'm at right now, okay? Because structure's pointing down, at least for potentially, and listen, structure will be structure and then until it's not, right? Like, this is the expectation. Whether or not it fakes you out like it did here after 1 break or 2 breaks or 10 breaks, eventually structure is going to break, right? But 4-hour structure flipped bearish, so we need to be aware of that. So essentially what we're looking for right now is a 15-minute flip, right? If you get a 15-minute flip here, which by the way, on the Twitter, which the Twitter, like the link is in the description down below. Follow me on Twitter. I posted this yesterday, right? Down, coming up to around 68.5. It went a little bit higher, fine, no problem. And then when we came down, it went a little bit lower. The idea is there though, right? Like there's no way for me to predict the exact dollar, but the idea is there. So I did take a short from a little bit higher, and I'm monitoring it. Right now it is a scalp, but you know, I'm understanding that, first of all, there's a lot of liquidity below. Like they could easily come and take that back. But anyways, I'm not gonna, that's not what this is about. To be safe with it, you're looking for a 15-minute flip here, because that 15-minute flip, and I'm gonna draw this in a different color so that you can see very cleanly and very nicely, and everyone can be on the same page here, at least for what I'm looking for. Okay, remember, so that's your 15-minute structure, right? And your 4-hour structure, we're gonna stay on the 15-minute, but I'm gonna draw it, is this, right? So you had high, you had low, you had high, you had low, and then now this is potentially the lower high to make the lower low. That's the lower low. That's the expectation. So how do we know when that lower low could come in? When you have a 15-minute structure flip like this. Okay, so that's what I'm looking out for. I'm not saying that it's going to do that. I'm just saying that's what I'm looking out for. Meanwhile, it also came to a very important level of resistance. So it does make sense if this is going to happen. If this is going to happen, it makes sense for it to turn here. I think it's also the 786, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 786 as well. So if it's going to happen, it makes sense here. And it all comes down to the question, did they sweep enough liquidity? In my opinion, they did not. I don't think that they did. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what my opinion is, just like it doesn't matter what your opinion is, right? We build cases for both scenarios, and we react to it because it's impossible for me to know, and it's impossible for you to know, right? I don't think we swept enough liquidity. I don't think that this move did enough to take you up here, but I absolutely could be wrong. And if they just continue, if they don't break any serious structure, like even your 30-minute low is down here. I would say this is even more important than your 15-minute low, right? This is way more important. So they could even bring it down here and then continue the trend upwards. They could SFP that low and then continue the trend upwards, right? Like there are many things that could happen here, but in the overall picture of it, the question is, did they sweep enough liquidity here on this move? Did they sweep enough to give you that, not juice? They have the juice, I imagine, to send it up here if they want to, but do they want to let all the longs take profit? That's the question. And are they going to fake you out? That's also the question. So that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. Everything in my last video, if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it, because it's all still valid. And the idea, like I said, like this was drawn well before it happened, right? Well before it all happened, and it happened perfectly. Once again, shout out to the Nexus, because they knew that I was long before Twitter did, and they knew about this before Twitter did, right? So we were prepared for it. We caught this move, we caught this short, we caught this long, and now we're flirting with the idea of shorting again. You know, in my opinion, is absolutely the time to take profit, or time to at least de-risk and put your stops to entry if you are long. But again, I'm not here to say that it's going to do this or it's going to do that. I'm here to tell you this is what I'm looking for. If I see the 15-minute flip, this is how I'm going to react to it. And so far, that's been serving us very well on the channel and on the Nexus. So that's really my update right now. Again, not really too much to say, aside from go watch the last video if you didn't watch it, or go watch it as a reminder, because I talk about these zones. And don't think that because we're coming back up here that we're entitled to this high just yet, right? Because technically speaking, your high time frame leg, and we talked about this, like I said in the last video, is this, which means you're allowed to come all the way back down to here. You could even SFP that 58K while still technically remaining bullish on this higher time frame pull that we got going on. That's actually like this. Okay, so that's it for today's video, guys. If you like the content, make sure to hit the like button. If you loved it, hit the subscribe button with the notification bell so that you can get my updates like this. And make sure you join my Twitter, because like I said, even if you're not in the Nexus, which if you want to join that, the link's in the description as well, you'll get some updates. I do post, you know, kind of some stupid shit all the time, but you know, for the most part, I do give some good value in there as well. So again, if you like the video, you know what to do. Guys, I'll see you in the next one. Happy trading. Shout out to the Nexus.